All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us here today. We're working our way through the rest of the day here. It's been kind of a rough one, a little battered and bruised. Why don't we take a look and see what these markets are doing now? We were lower across the board pretty much. How about corn? Still lower, 13 cents lower, and we're on the lows. March is off 13 cents, now 12 and 3/4 cents, 663 and a half cent off the lows there. May's down 12 and 1/4 to 662 and 1/4. And that, too, is a half cent off the lows. Look at D's, new crop, still 16 cents away from that $6 level. We're 11 and a half cents lower to 584 and 1/4. Moving right along, let's take a look at with the soybeans and see what they've got in store for us. Solid double-digit losses. March down 24 and 1/4 cents to 1482 and 1/4. May down 23 cents to 1478. Now 1479 even, and they're all about 2.5 cents off the lows there. Let's take a quick peek and see what we've got going on in the Novi 23 beans. How far are they lower? Well, 19 and 3/4 cents lower, about 1.5% off today. 1332 and 1/4. Seems like that $14 level is way off in the distance, doesn't it? Wheat in Chicago. Chicago wheat market's down 27 and 1/4 cent in that March contract. 714 and 1/4 is last, depending off the lows. May's down 26 and a half to 722. Got July, that's a new crop, 26 and a half cents lower to 725. There you go. How about hard red wheat in Kansas City, KC, HRW? 36 cents lower in that March contract, 812 even, and we're on the lows. May is 33 and a half cents lower, 807 and 3/4, 808 now, but we're basically on the lows there as well. So wheat trading heavy as we speak. Spring wheat in Minneapolis, 25 cents lower in the March, 887 and 3/4 is last, about 2 cents off the lows there. May down 22 and a half cents to 882 and 3/4, and that too is about 2 cents off the lows. Finally, let's say cotton. Cotton was a good one earlier. Is it still there? Well, not bad. 135 points higher. 88.05 is last. It's not a bad one. Pretty up across the board there when we talk cotton. These prices are brought to us by Bar Chart, and this content's going to be brought to us by Bubba, Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading. What do you think about these? There's no bullish news out there, that's for sure.
No, let's talk about how the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, Scott, I think that the wheat actually looks pretty bad at the moment here, but the thing I rely back to is the lack of volume and the lack of participation. My concern here is that, you know, with the higher interest rates, banks could actually do some forced liquidation and kind of pull some of these notes. You know, it's a scary time, although I still believe that they're going to go much higher. But why are we going much lower here? The logic behind the market, and we know the markets don't have to be logical, but what's going on here does not make any sense whatsoever, because at these prices, it's going to be hard to want to be a planter in the next month or so.
I'm hearing more and more economists and analysts come out and say they think we're in for a soft landing. What are your thoughts there?
I think they're out of their mind. I think that, again, if you look already at the average consumer, they're already in big trouble. Not even in a soft landing. They're in for a crash landing. I mean, credit card debt, forget about the number, but the number of people that are maximized out or capped out on their credit cards has never been this high. The interest rates are not going to stop going down. And when you're dependent on Saudi Arabia for your oil, you don't think that when it comes towards Memorial Day weekend or Memorial Day May, that they're not going to have somehow of a shortage and see oil prices go soaring once again?
You know, you're right. I mean, it's hard to argue with the fact that there are so many risks out there. And I say it over and over again, all the things that we had that hindered us last year in 2022, we drug over the finish line into 2023. We haven't solved any of them. I mean, we've actually entered this year with a whole lot of baggage. And I guess, you know, I hate to say it, but time will tell, because we're going to have to wait and see about how the weather does in South America, how our weather does. I mean, there's so many things that still need to play out, and see what this Fed really does, too. I mean, the folks that are calling for rate hikes by the end of this year, I just think that's going to be very difficult. I don't see that happening. But anyway, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas after this. All right, welcome back to, what is this, Market Day Report. I almost said Commodity Rep Kickoff again there. You know, I can't get it out of my brain. What show am I doing right now? I don't know. Let's take a look at some of these prices. That'll give me a quick hint. Let's take a look at live cattle in Chicago. This is not a bad board. Feb's up 65 cents to 157.27. April's up 40 cents to 160.32. And as you go out, the deferreds, they all are between, say, 50 and 72 cents higher. Feeder cattle, they were liking a lower corn board earlier today, and they still are. March is up $2.45. Good gain there. 183.42 is last. Only about, what, 20 cents off the highs. April, 217 higher to 187.95. All right, let's take a quick trip over to the lean hogs, and we'll get back to our analyst. Feb hogs up 17 cents, 78 even in quiet trade. You can tell we're right in the middle of the days. Well, at the upper end, I suppose, only 20 cents from the highs. April's up 32 cents to 86.05, and that gives us a chance to get back to Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. All right, Todd, any thoughts here? What's happening with these proteins? You got about 60 seconds on the nose.
On the nose. I don't think there's much going on here, Scott. I think, look, we can see that they're higher today with the lower feed prices now. But overall, I think we're just stuck in a range, and I think the protein will rotate depending on what's going on with markets and with debt and with what happens with the interest rates and oil. And I don't think they look bad. I just don't think that they have a lot of room to go on the upside. I think we're probably 190 in feeders, 160 in fats is probably about as high as they can go. I just don't see them going a lot lower. And I think hogs are probably at a pretty good buyable spot if you're looking to trade them. I think these are pretty good support levels.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely stuff happening over there, and sometimes I think it takes a little bit of a back seat because we've had so many gyrations in the top half when it comes to these row crops. We'll see. I think you're right. I appreciate you coming on, Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. We're going to bring it back to Nash Vegas, and I can throw this over to Tammy.